Here we are to look at the priest tree. I'm
First,
Daftjack. He is
Raging
Ragingdevil. Alrighty. How do you feel about priest or discipline devil?
Discipline is my favorite spec, and it's my spec I started with when I think my second spec I started when I started playing priest, and I haven't got off this spec since I started when I came off the shadow, and discipline has been my main spec ever since.
So way back when I was a wee high school kid, 17 years ago, my buddy who got me into the game told me that discipline was the wand spec. And that you went in there to do like a really supporty mage or priest.
Yeah, because back then you had like 50% increased damage on your wand.
Well, because back then, like you went into discipline to get powered, and you got the wand for leveling up, and like that's really how we thought about things back then, and things changed. I remember my favorite time of being disciplined was during Throne of Thunder against Thok. Do you remember when I think it was Bond was like third on DPS and solo healing the Ray? Oh man, that is good times, good times. But yeah, discipline has definitely had its a solid spec.
Yeah,
Probably
in
in my top 4 healers. And
it's definitely a skill based spec too.
Yeah. So we start with Atonement, which is such a good talent for them to start with. I was kind of figuring they'd start with Penance, but nah, they get a straight start with Atonement. So Trinity, I don't know what that means. Power Word Shield applies Atonement to your target for 30 seconds. Your spells damage heals all targets affected by Atonement for 50% of the damage done. Power Word Shield, Shadow Mend, Power Word Radiance apply Atonement to your target for 50 seconds. The Power Word Shield, 30 seconds. Oh, if you have a Trinity, probably. Your spells and abilities heal all targets affected by Atonement for 50% of damage done. Yeah, Trinity's got to be an upgraded. And come on, load next talent. Me.
Oh, you're on the left talent?
Yeah.
Not loading?
No, it's not loading. Is it loading for you? Oh, there it goes.
Inner light and shadow. 15-second cooldown. Requires priest discipline. Inner light. Healing spells cost 50% less mana. And then inner shadow. Spell damage and atonement healing increased by 10%. Activate to swap from one effect to the other, incurring a 6-second cooldown.
That's pretty dope. That's actually really cool. Where are we going with this? Let's go over here to Power Word Radiant. Man, that inner light and shadow, like swap back and forth. And it looks like, if we look at the tree, it looks like we're gonna get some shadowy talents, which is kind of cool. So you can walk like the line between the two. It's really class thematic. But anyway, moving on to Power Word Radiant. 6.5% base mana, 40-yard range, 2-second cast, 20-second recharge, 1 charge. A burst of light heals the target and 4 injured allies within 30 yards for 105 5% spell power and applies atonement for 60% of its normal duration. Then we have Shining Radiance. Power word Radiance healing is increased by 10%.
Up to 20.
20. Yeah, okay. Boring talent. Improved Power word Radiance. Power word Radiance has an additional cooldown charge. Nice. Then we have Concentration? Contritration? Huh.
Contrition.
Contrition?
It's a weird talent.
Silly
Yeah.
old Latin word, most likely. When you heal with penance, everyone with your atonement is healed for 14% of spell power. That's dope. We move down to choose one: Evangelism or Spirit Shell. Ooh, Spirit Shell's on a choose. Interesting. Evangelism. 1.5 minute cooldown extends the duration of all of your atonements by 6 seconds, or Spirit Shell. Base mana, 1 point cooldown for 10 seconds, penance, power word, shield, radiance, atonement. Create absorb shields for 80% of their value instead of healing. I really feel like we're going to need a longer duration, 6 seconds, to make that worth it.
Yeah, I'm still going with evangelism for my build.
Are you?
Yeah, because it's all atonements, and if you just activate what do you call it? The atonements, whatever, and evangelism, you pop both your holy radiances and get 8 atonements active at once, and then pop evangelism for 6 seconds. You'll be perfect to get a nice burst of healing right there before I
Yeah, but you can do all of that with Spirit Shell and get the absorbs. Absorbs are always better than raw heals.
Yeah, but Spirit Shell is only on one target.
It says atonement creates an absorb shield. So like you can still do it on all the atonements. So what it's doing is for 10 seconds, it's making all of your penance, power word shields, and atonements create absorb shield for 80% of their value instead of healing. They're still healing for 20%, I believe. But 80% of their healing goes towards an absorb, which makes it really good because the absorb just sits there.
Yeah, and they're both the same cooldown, so I'll definitely give Spirit Shell a try on the first go round. Maybe I'll use that on a burst build, maybe.
Because Spirit Shell gets you less overhealing.
As I'm saying, so the overhealing isn't wasted.
Yeah. I mean, evangelism, like I said, it's a good concept, but I think it needs a little more than 6 seconds to make it good.
Yeah.
Even fall. Power word Radiance has 30% chance to grant power of the dark side. Ooh. Harsh discipline. When atonement has healed a total of 100 times, your next penance is free and fires 3 additional bolts. That's cool.
So 6 bolts.
A reward for atoning. Indemnity. Atonement grants granted by a power word shield lasts for an additional 2 seconds.
There we go. Alright.
Alrighty. We go over here towards the penance first. And penance is 1.6% base mana. For a 40-yard range channeled 9-second cooldown, launches a volley of holy light at the target, causing Contagion 40% of spell power, math, holy damage, or Contagion 125% spell damage, math, healing to ally over 3 seconds, castable while moving.
If you want to say more specifically, it's 125% of spell power times 4 bolts.
Yeah, or 3 bolts.
Because that's actually the talent you're going to read down there.
Oh, Contagion. Here we go. 1 additional bolt of holy fire. Okay, yeah. So we can break down the math there to say that it's 120% spell power each bolt on
So it's
an
going to be
ally,
125
or 40 holy damage to enemy.
So each bolt does 125 spell power.
That's cool. Go down this middle here. We got shield or power word solace. Shield discipline. When your power word shield is completely absorbed, or you restore 0.5% maximum mana. Power word solace. 40-yard range, instant, or 15-second. Strikes an enemy with heavenly power, dealing 80% of spell power, holy damage, and restoring 1% of maximum. That's pretty cool.
Got that one.
But I think I'd go with shield discipline.
Yeah, I went with solace.
Yeah.
Yeah, I combined that with after I cast a smite, I use that in combo with that. Or after smite, I use penance and then end it with a solace.
Yeah, I feel
it's kind of like a rotation build for me, but yeah.
We get pain suppression.
Yep.
1.6% base mana, 3-minute cooldown, 40-yard range. All damage taken by a friendly target by 40% for 8 seconds. Castable while stunned. You're for the Lord. Shining Force. 2.5% base mana.
There's our knockback.
40-yard range, instant, 45-second. Cooldown, creates a burst of light around a friendly target, knocking you. Oh yeah, we saw this in the other 3.
Yep.
But I'm still going to finish reading it. Knocking away nearby enemies, slowing their movement speed by 70% for 3 seconds. We got protect the frail power word shield, reduce down of pain suppression. Second.
Up to 4.
Nice. Psychic voice, reduce the cooldown of psychic scream by 30 seconds. Pain transformation. Pain suppression also heals your target for 5% their maximum health. Sins of the Mini. Your damage is increased by up to 6%, diminishing for ally affected by your attack.
So it's up to 12, then diminishes.
Okay. Rapture Talent. 3.1% base mana. 40-yard range. 5 minutes down immediately. Power word shield your target for the next 8 seconds. Power word shield absorbs an additional 100% and may be cast on targets with weakened soul. Ooh. Ooh.
That's how we get super shields, but it's only for that cooldown.
And then we go over here to exhaustion. Exaltation. Exaltation.
Oh, down there. Okay, yeah.
Rapture's duration is increased by 1.0 seconds and power word shield enhancement is increased by 7.5. Digging it.
I think that was this time too.
Yeah. Go over here. See what's going down the tree.
Oh, that's funny.
Power of the dark side.
Huh?
Power
Oh,
of the
we're not.
dark side. Yeah,
Oh,
we're
we're
gonna
not
climb
done.
down this thing and just follow it over. Because
Oh,
with
okay.
the last tree, like that middle diamond at the bottom was just so strong. I felt like it would be better to talk about it. So
Okay, so you want to meet the middle as we get the sides. Okay.
yeah,
Okay, so let's get rid of all these. All right.
yeah, I know you're following along. Call
The
out
down
the
tree.
percentage.
Yeah. So now we go down the dark side.
Power of the dark side. We have Cookie. Shadow Word Pain has a chance to power your next penance with Shadow, increasing its effectiveness by 50%. Dark Indulgence. Power of the dark side increases effectiveness. The effectiveness of penance by an additional 10%.
So now it's 60.
Salshism?
Oh, Schism.
Schism. There we go. Makes sense. 0.5% base mana, 40-yard range, 1.5-second cast, 24-second cooldown. Attack the enemy's soul with a surge of shadow energy, dealing 150% of spell power, shadow damage, and increasing your target spell damage to the target by 25% per second. And then that evolves into malicious secession. Duration of chasm is increased by 50%. Middle, we got swift patient. Damage or healing of your first bolt of penance by 10%.
Was it 20?
And then it looks like we're gonna get shadow form. Shadow Covenant. 4.5% of base mana, 40-yard range, instant, 30-second cooldown. Make a shadow pact, healing the target for 4 injured allies within 30 yards for 165% shadow power for 7 seconds. Your shadow spells deal 25% increased damage and healing, but your holy spells deal 50% decreased damage and healing.
And healing.
Interesting. And then that evolves with Shadow Embrace. Shadow Covenant lasts an additional 4 seconds, followed by Twilight Corruption. While Shadow Covenant is active, Penance becomes Dark Reprimand, causing 40% spell power, math, shadow damage over 2 seconds, castable while moving.
Dark reprimand. But yeah.
Dark Reprimand. Rawr. I will tell you that you are wrong and reprimand you for days. Because
now you got the dark penance. So there you go.
yeah, right.
So there's your first one. What else we got down the tree?
We got Halo or Divine Star. Read those in the last tree, so I'm not gonna read them again.
Yeah. Still, that looks like the same spell power damage. Yep.
Yeah. Well, so as we've noted earlier, it'll tell us if there's a difference in things.
Yeah, I'm just saying it still shows 115 and
103?
It's still
Yeah.
So.
All right,
got
then we
to.
got Twilight Empowerment, Shadow Word Death damage trigger, Atonement when used on a target below 20% health.
So there's our atonement.
Yeah.
For that one.
Wickedness. Divine Star and Halo now deal shadow damage and gain additional effects. Wicked Star. Divine Star deals an additional 120% shadow power, shadow damage over 6 seconds. Enemies in its path, Divine Star deal 10% additional damage each time it hits an 100%. Enemies damaged by Halo are dealt an additional 120% of spell power, shadow damage over 6 seconds to the enemy in its path. Each enemy hit by Halo reduces its cooldown by 3 seconds, up to 15 seconds. Oh my goodness, that sounds so cool. Yeah. Shadow monster, rawr. We're not even in Shadow yet, and I'm all hyped. Solatum.
Looking at our fucking hybrid healer is going to become a shadow healer too.
I know, right? Solatum. Solatum?
Oh, Solatium.
Solatium? Atonement granted by Shadow Man lasts an additional 2 seconds. Stolen Psyche. Additional Atonement heals for 10% more when activated by Mind Blast.
So it's 20%.
Power Word Barrier. Summon a holy barrier to protect allies at the target location for 10 seconds, reducing all damage taken by 10%, preventing damage from delaying spellcast. That's unique. Last part.
Yeah.
And then we've got Latenance. Atonement reduces damage taken by 3%. And finally, Mega Capstone talent for the Discipline tree is Light's Wrath. 40-yard range, 2.5-second cast, 1.5-minute cooldown. Invokes Light's Wrath, dealing 175% spell power, radiant damage to the target increased by 10% per ally affected by your atonement.
This is radiant damage, so it's not affected by holy.
Yeah.
So this damage is all just based on anything, regardless if you're a shadow reducement or whatever.
Interesting. Have we seen another radiant damage spell earlier? Any of the previous trees?
I think this is our first radiant spell.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah, I mean, other than powered radiance being a radiance healing, I don't think we have radiance damage yet.
I'm excited.
Hold on. No, it's fire damage. Yeah, no, we don't have radiant yet.
So I'm excited to play my my red mage.
Yeah, but I'm excited to play my shadow mage.
Yeah, that's the next video.
Shadow healer. Yeah.
Shadow heal. So let's get on that shadow tree here in a couple minutes. Be taking a break. And then talking about the shadow tree.
The true
that
shadow
spooky
mage.
boy. Alrighty.